In the month of November, the Washington Wizards have finally won a basketball game. They're off the schneid. They get a dub, 14-game streak off the books. The Wizards dominate the Hawks as CJ McCollum goes crazy. Let's react here on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
DC family, you are locked on to the Washington Wizards, where you're part of our family. We thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team, the Washington Wizards, a victorious team today. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKDOWNNBA for $20 off your first purchase, alongside the DC Sports content creating savant who is finally dancing with the intro music, Abdullah Ayubi. I'm Ben Strober, and I cover the Wizards for Roundtable.io. AB, 14-game losing streak is over. You and I can finally feel joy. You remember the Isaiah Thomas? Feels like I got my joy back. It feels like we got our joy back right now.
The hat is back, Ben. I mean, this is a game that we didn't even go to. We were planning to go to, but if the team plays like this without us in Capital One in attendance, we will never go to a game again. I mean, Ben, 132 to 113, complete dominance in the first half. This Wizards team put up 45 in the first quarter. Corey Kispert looked like Stephen Curry out there. The Atlanta Hawks had no answer for him. I think the Wizards started 8 from beyond the arc. I mean, and this is kind of funny because last season this team beat the Atlanta Hawks twice, and you a couple hours before the tip-off, Ben, we found out that Keyshawn George was dealing with the illness and he'll be out for the game, and you're like, oh man, here we go. You don't have one of your best young players playing tonight. How are you going to figure out and win this game? Somehow, some way, this team, CJ McCollum, vintage CJ McCollum, 46 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Ben, this is a CJ that the Wizards traded for, and you're just happy that the losing streak is over. There was some doubt, some fans thinking that they could break the streak of the franchise, and not only the franchise, but just NBA history in 28, losing 28 games in a row. But I mean, tonight, Ben, it was great. They win, and this is a win that you desperately need against a good Atlanta Hawks team as well. You love to see the fight in this team, man.
Absolutely. I would not have expected this team to get it done tonight. On this stage, the Wizards have won an NBA Cup.
How could I forget that? They won the first NBA Cup game. Let's go.
So it is crazy because you and I both weren't in the building today. I was tied up with some other things I had to tend to, so I couldn't get to Capital One Arena today. But the fact that we are talking about a win right now feels really good, and it feels like a great team win. And the reason the Wizards get it done, you shoot 50% from 3 in this game on 38 attempts. It's going to be pretty hard to lose a game when you make 19 threes in the contest. And yeah, I see the comment, we're not a part of evil history right now. Yeah, it's a good feeling. And I think this was a really important win for this Wizards team to get from a morale standpoint. CJ on Instagram the other day, y'all got to get a win, man. 14 games in a row is crazy. And he responded to that guy's comment. He said, facts, we got to get a W. And today, a backpack effort for CJ McCollum. In 37 minutes, he puts up 46 points for the Wizards on 17 of 25 shooting, 10 of 13 from behind the arc. He was a plus 19 in the game. You mentioned Chris Middleton was a team best plus 34. So finally, a game where the veterans you bring in here in the offseason to help you compete a little bit more. That wasn't the case through the first 15, 16 games of the season for a lot of them, outside of a couple outliers. Tonight, the veterans were actually the difference. But you also got to look to Alex Sarr and his performance tonight. 27 and 11 for the former number 2 overall pick. He was a plus 30 on 11 of 15 shooting. An absolutely fantastic night for the Big Eiffel. This is a win where you feel like you can get your mojo back in terms of competitiveness. From a standpoint, because I said it the other night after the Chicago game, AB, I said it almost feels like an outlier from this standpoint that the Wizards were competitive in a basketball game and had a chance to win it against Chicago. Ultimately, they fell apart like they had in a couple of other games along that 14-game losing streak. But I said this kind of feels like an outlier because the Bulls mostly were shooting themselves in the foot for the majority of the game. Today, the Wizards were simply the better team. They came out with intensity. They came out on fire offensively. They defended really well in the first half. They only gave up 23 points in that first quarter. A 45-23 start to this game. We feel like, all right, we've seen this story before with this Wizards team. They start off hot. They find a quarter to fall apart. That was not the case. The second quarter, both teams even at 32. The Wizards outscored the Hawks 34-23. In the third quarter, some improvement there. Really only the fourth quarter is where the Wizards were kind of dominated in this game, but it was garbage time at that point. For once, we're not on the wrong side of the garbage time buckets.
I was scared. I was a little skeptical when I saw Luke Kennard was on the Hawks, and I remember he hit a 4-point play when he was with the Clippers, that game where they blew like a 30-plus point lead, and I was like, I got PTSD. I was like, there's no way they find a way to blow this game. But it was complete domination from the start. 25-8 start by the Wiz kids. Jalen Johnson didn't score. Their leading scorer, the Atlanta Hawks scorer, wasn't on the scoreboard until late in the second quarter. I think Sarr did a good job on Kristaps Porzingis. And overall, just amazing. Zachary Reese-Shea had 17 points, and a lot of Atlanta Hawks fans are still hating on Alex Sarr because he didn't want to come here. But Sarr with 27-11. 4 stocks. You really love to see it. This kid looks so good in year 2, and it's just great for him to bounce back. You can see the difference between his first year and second year campaign. Night and day difference. Guys calling him a bust after a couple of Summer League games. I will never forget that. Chris Middleton, double-double, 10.7 rebounds, 12 assists. I don't know if that's a career high, but he was dishing it, and just an overall great team effort, 132 points, only giving up 113 on average, give up 130 a game, so that's another W. But the bigger common theme, Ben, is that, or the bigger take is that this team, a morale win. That's what you need.
Yes.
And you're going up against Indiana, and there's a possibility where you can extend this win streak to 2.
We got to talk about this as well. You know, when you want to talk about morale and people trying to buy in from within the organization, how about MVP chance at Capital One Arena for Alex Sarr? And although it's like facetious to really give a guy like Alex Sarr MVP chance right now, obviously he's not the MVP of the league. But to Wizards fans that were out there starving to see the team succeed, to see the young guys get off the schneid of 14 games in a row, and for Sarr to be a focal point in the reason why, like, there's some great appreciation that those fans and the people that are dedicated, the people that are watching this stream right now, their time to fandom for this Wizards team, trying to justify the patience that comes with the agony of a full teardown, a full rebuild. Your number 2 overall pick, and Alex Sarr, was a massive reason why you won this game. He continues to get better and better as the season goes on. And to all the people in the building that were chanting MVP for Alex Sarr, I applaud you. Good job. You are a fantastic Wizards fan.
And this
That's
is a
what you
night,
like to
Ben,
see.
where the pajamas, Bub Carrington, the design. I mean, I think Bub should design pants for every game moving forward.
And Bub had a much better night than he had in really recent weeks. He put up 10 tonight, 6 assists, was a +4 in the game on 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 from behind the arc. So a better, more confident-looking night as well for Bub Carrington, which you love to see, Abdullah. And it just feels giddy. Like, I know we can come from the standpoint here where we're saying, like, look, we haven't been in this position since October 20th. We went a calendar month without this team winning a game. They didn't look competitive worth a damn in so many of them. And finally, the team can really feel a sense of, like, what is supposed to materialize in this year of the rebuild. You're going to lose a ton of games. And, in fact, the way the team's constructed, you're going to lose a lot of them by a lot of points. But you're supposed to see big-time flashes from your young players. You said you were going to be more competitive this season. And tonight was an example of where they really were more competitive. And you had the veterans in there, and I know, like, you don't necessarily need to see C.J. McCollum score 13 points in a game, or 13 points in the fourth quarter in a game that they've already won, but it was a night where he was hot, he was doing his thing. Chris Middleton was doing a lot of big-time stuff to get the win. I'm okay with it for tonight because I think this team really needed to get that feeling back of winning a basketball game. They needed to be reminded that it was possible to win a basketball game. I feel like this win was deeper than just winning the basketball game in terms of your wins and losses, because we know wins and losses do not matter for this team, but morale is the more important thing. I mean, we had people questioning what they're trying to build here. because of how bad things had gotten over the course of the 14-game losing streak. A players-only meeting occurs because you get blown out by a terrible Brooklyn Nets team at home, and you say, I mean, what the hell is going on here? Like, are we seriously this bad? We can't be this bad, can we? These dudes are NBA players. They're trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to win every single game. And tonight was a night where they made a statement saying, like, we need to really show who we are as a team. They looked deep within themselves and dug deep to get this win. They defended their asses off tonight. Man, it feels weird that it happened this way, but I'm damn happy that I can feel this way for the first time in so long. It's crazy that it took this long to see this Wizards team materialize and play a complete full 4 quarters and dominate a game to a win. Let's maybe see this a couple more times this year at some point, hopefully, AB.
I was actually flabbergasted. I mean, Chris Miller and Brandon Hayward, he was on the call. They were losing their minds. I mean, everyone was just shocked the way this team was shooting the ball from outside the arc. Now, granted, I don't think this is sustainable. I would love to see us shoot 50% from three-point line every single game moving forward and CJ McCollum have 40-point games, but there's going to be nights where CJ's going to be off, and some guys, the young guys, hopefully will step up. But tonight, CJ just said, hey, everyone, hop in my backpack, and I'm gonna break the skid. He was tired of the losing streak. Like you mentioned, you replied to that guy on Instagram saying enough is enough. Shout out to Jay, a guy who posted or commented on a community post saying the Wizards are going to win tonight. He has to be some form of a Wizard because that was amazing, predicting that. No one thought that the Wizards were going to find a way to win tonight without their best player in Keyshawn George, who's dealing with an illness. This is how you build culture. You want a team that we understand we're not going to win a lot of games. That you keep reiterating that. I'll keep mentioning that as well. But it's competing, and this Atlanta Hawks team got punched in the face today. They thought, hey, we're going to go into Capital One in a cup game, beat this team without their young best player. No. That was the opposite of what just happened. You get blown out by 19 points, and at one point you were down 35 points to this young Wizard squad. You gotta love it. Second win of the season. More to come. Go Wiz, man.
Let's go. All right, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this. When we remind you, we're going to let you let it all out after the second segment, so get those comments ready, everybody. Basketball season is officially here, and nothing beats being in the arena for those opening games. But let's be real, getting tickets can be a total headache between waiting in queues, surprise fees, and prices that jump right before checkout. It's easy to get frustrated when all you want to do is cheer on your team. That's where Game Time comes in, the app that gives fans the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NBA tickets fast, easy, and stress-free. I recently used Game Time to grab seats, and I had great seats within minutes. What I love about it is what you pay, or what you see is what you pay. No hidden fees at the checkout. Plus, I could see exactly what my view looked like before I bought the tickets with the in-app seat view feature. Those zone deals, they're a game changer. You pick the section, Game Time picks your seats, and you save big. You can find NBA tickets for under $25. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go with Game Time. Celebrate good times. The Wizards have won a basketball game in November. We didn't complete no-win November for the second straight year, and I know there's no shave November. There's no you-know-what November. The Wizards last year participated in no-win November, which was brutal. It was not fun. This year, they nearly did it again. They would have had another chance against Indiana had they lost tonight. If they would have lost that one as well, they would get to that franchise-tying record of 16 games in a row, but I guess we'll never know. That's not the reality of the situation because the Wizards came out and punched the Atlanta Hawks in the face on their home floor. Finally got a win at home for the first time since early April of last year. And another thing that stands out to me about this one is yesterday, your rookie player, your former number 6 overall pick in Trey Johnson, the team announces he's not going to play for at least a couple of weeks with the left hip flexor strain, saying that he had been playing hurt for really the first 15 games of the season, an injury that stems back to his days at Texas. And the Wizards go out there tonight, and they look inspired. And as a fan, when you hear that Trey Johnson, the guy that you were looking forward to seeing play this season, is going to be sidelined and on the mend for a couple of weeks and had been playing hurt, that just makes it even all that more devastating when you've lost 14 games in a row. But today, a game that qualms some of my nerves that existed with this team, because historically you're on pace to be one of the worst NBA teams of all time in terms of point, in terms of net versus statistics. It doesn't matter. The statistics do not matter because the team is a bad team. However, in this situation tonight, the Wizards showed me something that they are capable of competing in a lot of these basketball games. They have to find it within themselves to do so. The wins and losses aren't important, but the morale is important. And, there's a perfectly great argument you can make saying losing a lot of the games is perfectly fine. But when you're losing them as bad as they were over that 14-game span, you have to wonder how that affects these players. Do they buy in to what the organization is preaching, what they're trying to do? When things are going that poorly, do they begin to play out of system? Tonight was not the case. They believed, they came out, they fought, they defended well, they played great offensively, obviously, through your veteran players, and then you had your youngin and Alex Sarr supplement along the way. This was a big-time win for a cultural standpoint, Abdullah, and I just want to keep on reiterating that as we roll through the episode here.
You can't emphasize it enough, Ben. I got to eat crow also with Corey Kispert. I mean, back-to-back great performances by Corey. 19 points today, was 4 of 8 from three-point land. I mean, at one point, Atlanta was fouling him, and they started just saying, someone else has to shoot outside of Corey Kispert because he was lighting it up, raining threes in D.C. in that first quarter. He unfortunately went out with an injury. I think it was a hand injury. Hopefully he'll be okay just in time for Indiana. But this is a guy that I didn't think much going into the season. I thought he was barely going to make the rotation, and I thought the young guys were going to be given more opportunities compared to what he'll be getting. But he's been proving me wrong these last couple of games. He has been balling out, and I'm hoping that he keeps it up. I was a big fan of him coming out of Gonzaga, and I just, again, people want to talk about trade value. I mean, McCollum, Middleton, Kispert, like they went up. The stock is up right now, and it just makes me wonder, Ben, like, is this a team like that we're like, how can this team? I want to see how this team plays against Indiana. Is it similar to tonight, or is it completely opposite? Because then it's not just culture wins; it's also how you play after a win like this, and that's something that I'm looking forward to the next game.
I mean, basketball is such a Jekyll and Hyde sport. You kind of never know what you're going to get on a team on any given night, except for this Wizards team. On most nights, you expect them to not be very good, the way they were for the course of a 14-game losing streak. One thing I want to point out with this game as well, you know how we say management from the top has to be saying something, directing the way the team plays, the way the rotations work in terms of being sure you're in a position to actually lose a lot of these games because they want to keep their draft pick. Tonight was a night where the Wizards were very desperate to win this game because with Marvin Bagley out, with Keyshawn George out, and Trey Johnson, of course, out as well, you figure, hey, this is an opportunity where you're going to see a lot of your young, blossoming players get a ton of minutes. No. That wasn't the case tonight because they let CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton and Corey Kispert do their thing for this team so they could get this team morale win. I want to just break Justin Champagnie. He plays in 17 minutes. That was kind of the most out of a lot of the bench guys. Only 22 minutes for Bub Carrington tonight, which is lower than usual for the guy who had played a lot of minutes over the course of the losing streak. Tristan Vucevic, who you expected to play a lot more with Bagley being out, he only played in 10 minutes this game. He was a -11. Malachi Branham gets 9 minutes. He was a -12. Cam Whitmore, only 10 minutes today, which I beat the table for the guy the other day saying this guy needs to play more minutes. Tonight wasn't the night for that. Only 10 minutes for Cam Whitmore, and he only takes one shot from the field, a three-pointer, which he ended up missing. Will Riley only plays 3 minutes. It was just that kind of night, and I'm okay with it for tonight because I think the team needed to feel what it was like to win a game, to get that sense of morale back within the organization. I think there was a level of desperation that came from within the entire organization to do it tonight in front of the home fans, and I agree with it.
Yeah, and again, Ben, I think everyone, Wizards fans, Hawks fans were just shocked. I mean, it was complete domination from the jump. I don't know if Atlanta ever led during this game. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. They never led this game, and Wizards' largest lead was 33 points from the early on the first quarter, or just in the first quarter. This Wizards team went on a 38-12 run. And shooting, again, like I mentioned earlier, 50% from three-point land, it's not sustainable, but on a night where you desperately needed to win, you showed up, and you honestly could have put up 150. And this Hawks team in that fourth quarter was a lot of garbage time, but then also point differential comes into play when it comes to a cup game, which, again, we won our first NBA Cup game, man. I mean, what's the odds of winning the whole thing now?
I'm not looking ahead. Just trying to enjoy tonight. Well, we can. Another guy we got to give some love to tonight, Bilal Coulibaly, who for whatever reason just only shoots 6 shots every single game. I mean, I guess CJ McCollum took 25 shots, so it's going to be pretty hard for a lot of other guys to take an ample amount of shot outside of Alex Sarr, who took 15, and Corey Kispert 11. But Bilal Coulibaly, fantastic night defensively, super impactful, did a great job defending off the wing. He was a plus 29 tonight with 3 stocks. So got to give a shout out to Bilal Coulibaly in what he's done defensively and how integral he was today in the win as well.
And I'll say it again, like Jalen Johnson, their leading scorer, only with 7 points. Very, very impressive defensively for this Wizards team who've just been struggling defensively for so many years. And tonight was a night where you just can't blame the defense, because not only did they play good offensively, but defensively this team, I mean, only gave up 23 points in the first quarter and 23 in the third. You love to see it. You really love to see it. That's when this team that, and again, you're out there without your good outside of offense. Keyshawn George is also a really good defender. So you're losing a guy like that, and Bilal Coulibaly stepping up. You just can't. You love it. You love it.
100%. All right, let's take one more break. When we come back, we are finally going to let you let it all out, but this time, the positive spin to it. When I'm hydrated, everything just works better. My focus, energy, mood, even my skin. That's why I've been using DripDrop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running at full power no matter what my day looks like. DripDrop isn't your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and the sugar of leading brands using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of college and pro teams. I like using DripDrop as part of my daily routine. I'll mix a packet in the morning before the gym or during that midday slump. It actually tastes amazing. My go-to flavor is lemon lime, and it's become my secret weapon for staying sharp and energized throughout these long, long days. Hydration has become a non-negotiable for me. DripDrop helps me feel sharper, calmer, and honestly just better overall. Right now, DripDrop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to DripDrop.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA. That's DripDrop.com, promo code LOCKEDONNBA for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits hard, and keep your body and mind performing at their best with DripDrop. It's time, everybody's favorite segment on the Locked On Wizards podcast. After every single game, we give you the opportunity to let it all out. And this time, it's finally for a win. AB, let's get it going.
Yes. AntBone_YM. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing to the Locked On Wizards channel. He says, great win tonight. Yeah. I mean, you get a win. It's not just it's a win. That's the main objective. You get a win. And also, you did it in great style. Groovy Entertainment, 4-3-2-1. Not us winning a game. I know some people are now going to be like, oh, are we going to be able to compete for the play-in now? No. I think this team's still going to keep their first-round pick this upcoming year, but a good cultural win. Pharaoh, 2682 LFG. Let's effing go. Aiden, 4002 says, we own the Hawks. Yeah, last season they beat the Hawks twice, and, I mean, Zachary Risache versus Alex Sarr. You saw what happened out there. Janelli, 1810. It's been too long. I forgot what a win feels like. Yeah, I was literally thinking today, like, post-game, okay, how am I going to phrase the 15th game loss in a row? But I can't doubt this.
AB, the fans were coming for you because remember after the Brooklyn game, they said, damn, this team killed AB's will to dance during the intro. Like, what happened? This podcast used to have energy.
The hat is back too, man.
They used to get sized. And now, yeah, you finally got the hat back on. You're feeling proud to be a Wizards fan tonight. And you were dancing in the intro. And I noticed that right away. I was like, oh, he's happy. He's excited right now.
As much as we cover this team, guys, we want this team to win. We don't want this team to lose. Like, it just wouldn't make sense. We grew up supporting this team. Femgo says we have to tank. No. Guys, this is the second one of the season. We're 2-15. We're good. Trust me, we're good. We're good. IT2 Sparky says, great team win, but I'd still like to hear have seen more of Cam, but I get it. CJ was hot, and Middleton was doing things to help the team. Yeah, it was interesting to see Cam Whitmore only getting 10 minutes, but I guess Coach Keefe saw how hot Corey Kispert was playing, and Chris Middleton was doing this thing, dishing the ball. CJ McCollum was, vintage CJ, so it does make sense for Cam not getting that many minutes, but hopefully that's not a common theme as we go on through the season. 531 D4 says CJ looks a lot better standing next to another guard. Tonight, CJ was his very vintage self, 100%. IT2 Sparky, we won't be a part of history now! ! Yeah, no losing streak. Hopefully we don't start another one, but we gotta enjoy this win tonight. Win.
There'll probably be another losing streak.
It probably will, but let's talk about today. Let's not talk about the future.
Yeah.
One win every 10-11 games. Is that doable? LOL. SAR equals most improved player. I don't think he'll be able to win that this year, Ben. Next year, I think he's a prime candidate for that award. Janelli also says SAR absolutely abused Porzingis. That was a nice surprise. Yeah, he did a really nice job when KP, who was a former Wizard. You love to see that. Alexander Wright, 6'7", says, good win, but I don't know if 50% from 3 is sustainable and a CJ out-of-body experience. It's a good point, but if you can get that out of CJ, any game, you love to see it. So our best player from the draft. Ben, remember, I'm going to keep reiterating it because it was crazy. This past summer, he wasn't in the top 10 redraft via The Athletic. I'm just saying.
Hey, Sam Vicente already ate crow over it.
I know, but that was a crazy take.
It was crazy.
Okay, let me.
He knows
Lugo,
now,
yeah, he knows. Lugo Crack Muzek says, if you're a true Wizards fan, wear wherever you wore today on Friday against the Pacers. Yes, sir. D'Angelo Poole 8258 says, great, solid team win. Kispert, CJ, and Middleton increasing their trade value. Yep, that's one way to look at it. Mike Tom Willis says, good win. I'm late, and you're never late, bro. We just won a game. Take your time. IT2 Sparky also says morale is very important, 100%. Big Shell, 99. A win. Feels weird. It's been so long. Congrats to the team. I'm sure they don't like losing, so this was a relief. 100%. D'Angelo also says, why is AJ Johnson not getting any playing time, even at garbage? Honestly, man, I don't know how to answer this. Trey Johnson is out. This is a guy that I thought maybe could crack even the garbage time of games, but that just hasn't been the case.
I don't understand it at this point. I feel like if he's not going to play at the NBA level, he was tonight again. Obviously he actually was out for a couple of games recently, with an injury, whether or not people knew that or not, because he just hadn't been playing in games either way. But if he's not going to check into the games, I feel like he's got to be playing somewhere, got to get reps. So it's interesting that they continue.
And he's also not in the Capital City. He's not being assigned to the Capital City Go-Go, so it just doesn't make any sense in my opinion.
Yeah, it's weird.
John Pioneer 2151 W also says SAR was hooping tonight. He was indeed hooping. Mental Edge 2398 Veterans Night. CJ and Middleton were cooking. Yep, these are the vets that the Wizards traded for. I2 Sparky says no trade equals more Cam. Unfortunately not tonight, but hopefully more Cam in the future. Austin MJ64 says, after giving away a handful of games, it was great to see them shorthanded and taking some ownership and pride on the court. And it showed in all 4 quarters. Love the emphasis on all 4 quarters, because so far this season, the theme was you played 3.5 quarters or 2 quarters, and the rest of the quarters, you just don't show up. Locked on Law, the one and only. CJ going ham means nothing since he won't be on the roster in 3 months. CJ going ham, however. Why didn't Cam play very much, John says. Again, you win. You can't complain much. If the Wizards didn't win today and they got blown out and Cam Whitmore still had those 10 minutes, then we would be questionable about that. But enjoy the win, guys. Shout out to our boy, Greg Finberg from the Wizards podcast. Make sure to check it out. What's up, guys? A great win.
What up, Greg?
Even Locked on Loss is a high grade. Burn Ray. With a few players out, the shorter rotation put everyone in a better groove. 100%. Locked on Law also says Kispert's inconsistency is the only problem. These last 2 games, he's been hooping. Can't say much. Cam Whitmore was out there shacking a fool. His poor attitude is going to be a problem. Honestly, there was a play where it was funny. TV was about to lob it to him, and he just lost control. So maybe that's where the frustration came from. But
yeah, no, I noticed that.
As athletic supporters, we want the cup. Yeah, it would be fun to win the cup, but I don't know where the standings are right now. We just won our first game in NBA Cup history.
Let me preface it this way: because the Wizards have been nubs and I hadn't won an NBA Cup
Yikes.
game until tonight. I barely have a sense of understanding how like this cup
Yeah,
thing even,
I don't
even works
know
because
either.
it's irrelevant to me. It's been irrelevant to me because we even won a damn game in it. And now we finally won one, and we get another opportunity. So if we win that one, then all of a sudden I might have to like double take and see like how exactly this works. I know point differential actually like kind of matters, and that's why Toronto essentially like ran the score up on us last weekend when they beat us by 30. But whatever. I guess I'm gonna get used to this now that we have a win in the NBA Cup. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, again, I didn't really care about point differential because you have to win the game in order to care about that. But this is great. Again, you make history with. I think CJ tied a franchise record for most threes in a game, and you just utter domination against a really good Atlanta Hawks team. This isn't a scrub team. This isn't the Mavericks that you beat the second game of the season. This is a team that wanted to go out there and punch you in the face and thought it was going to be an easy win, but you said not tonight. Even without our best young player in Keyshawn George, we're still going to go out there.
They thought S was sweet. And you know what S stands for. So thought it was sweet. Wasn't sweet tonight.
TV needs to work. Yeah, 100%. Vibing and thriving also set a record for most points in a quarter, 45. I don't know if that's a question or if he's telling me, but either way, 45 in a quarter, you love to see it. I think that's a lot of the comments. Hopefully I went through everyone. Thank you guys. 59 people in the chat. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribing. We are, I think, a couple subs away from 6,200 if I'm not wrong, but we won, man. We're back in the win column.
Let's go. And I'll put it this way. If you're a supporter of the channel, you watch, listen every single day, it's because you're a diehard Wizards fan. Tonight was for you. You deserve it. You deserve to feel the joy that comes with winning a game. And I know this is a low bar. Like, this should be the bare minimum that you get to feel the joy of winning at some point. But the way things have been going, where you lose 14 games in a row, and the way you had snatched defeat from the jaws of victory multiple times over the course of that streak, tonight is for you. Go enjoy it. Go have a beer. Go do whatever you need to do to enjoy this win.
Yeah, you don't know how many of these there are going to be, so you have to cherish every single one. And you have the Pacers next, and that's a winnable game. But again, I'm enjoying tonight, Ben. I'm enjoying tonight.
I'm not even going to jump ahead. Tomorrow in the podcast, I guess we'll start to break down some of the other nuances from the game. Pop the champagne. Vibing and Thriving says, IT just brought you guys. Thank you, bro. Appreciate all of you here in the chat. AB, anything else on this Victory Tuesday night?
Victory Tuesday night. Honestly, no. I mean, I was shocked. I'm assuming Ben didn't think we were going to win tonight because, again, no Keyshawn George. I just thought it was going to be very problematic for the Wiz. But you win tonight. Shout out to Jay. I hope you're watching right now. You called it. I thought you were a madman. You got to go play the lottery after you called this win out. Wiz are 2-15. They break the skid. We're up right now.
We're off the
You better talk about the Wiz tomorrow with the Junkies, Ben.
They'll definitely ask me a lot. I'm sure about that. So I'm ready for the questions to be thrown my way. We're off the schneid. The Wizards are off it. We're vibing. We're happy. We're having a good time, and we know so are you back at home. We thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen today and every single day. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team, the Washington Wizards, every day. Your Wizards coverage Monday through Friday and on the weekends as well, all throughout the entirety of the regular season. For my co-host Abdullah Ayubi, I'm Ben Strober, DC family. We got a W.